2. Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.
Yo, what up? GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do to Sexual Revolutions being podcasted? And I am excited. We are in the building. Beautiful day out tonight. Tonight. It's just a beautiful week in general. And I'm excited. Excited to talk to my people. Excited to talk to my fans. Excited to help. What's going on, Big Mike? Big Money Mike in the building.
What's up, Dante? Good to be back.
Same. Always a pleasure, bro. The number's up, 347-464-2827. I went on live Sunday, and I had a question. I had somebody call in from England, and I'm gonna actually post it. I'm gonna edit it down and post it. But one of the things that I thought was interesting is that a lot of times people are in a situation where, you know, a guy will be talking to somebody or talking to a woman, and then she will be like, well, what are you about? You know, you looking for a relationship? Are you looking for? So it's an interesting dynamic because of the fact that I think what's interesting is men are accustomed to rejection. Let me say that again. Men are accustomed to the rejection. In the inception of the fact that a man finds women attractive, he has to prepare for rejection. That's the way it is. I don't care how dope he is, how fine he is. There's always rejection is in your future. When we look through the crystal ball, that's coming. I've had guys actually say to me that they're, you know, guys who are like really good looking, where girls will be like, oh no, I would never talk to him. He's too pretty. I can't have somebody prettier than me. So they get rejected. So up and down the scale, until you learn social dynamics, learn how to talk to women and learn how to present yourself, from the first time that you you send that note, do you want to go out with me? Check yes, check no, happy face, sad face. You prepare for the rejection. You have to, as a man, you got to learn to put yourself out there, and rejection is part of it. And so, a lot of cases, men are much more accustomed and equipped to have to go through rejection, whereas a lot of times women are not, because they're not really forced to put themselves out. But a woman will demand sometimes a demand for you to fit into whatever scope that they see you as a viable entity, even if she doesn't have you in mind. That you got to have the requirements whether or not she's interested in you or not. So do you want to get married? Do you want this? Do you want that? And you get these questions where sometimes she don't even like you. She doesn't even have the intention on giving you an opportunity, but she wants to make sure that you're all in all the time, even though she's not interested. And this is why you have to be honest about who you are and what you are. Because when you're lying about who you are and what you are, the subtext of what you're actually saying is that you don't think you're worthy. If you got a guy who's 5'4" and he says that he's 5'6", he's lying because he doesn't think that 5'4" is enough. And somehow, if he was just 2 inches taller, that he would be enough. And so he lies, right? What you don't understand when you're lying is what you're saying. What you're ultimately saying is, I'm not good enough. I am shoplifting the booty. I am boosting the butthole. You're saying, I don't have dessert. We got a call? Let's go. I'll get back.
Hello,
You're on the
hello.
air.
Where you calling from, bro?
I'm calling from Brooklyn. It's Yav, man. Gave me a consultation some months ago.
What's up,
Your
y'all?
information helped me.
I appreciate it. How'd
Uh,
that go? How did it go?
It's like a temporary band-aid. You can't really, like you said, you can't get mad at a fish for swimming.
Yeah.
So there's only so much that you could control. But I
But
called.
you can control all of you. That's what you
Yeah,
have to
I can
understand.
control all of me. That's and that's what I've been trying to focus on, honestly. So I kind of want to run this situation by you.
Let's go.
Been going through this thing with my girl. So a few months ago, she had a little family trip out of the state. She invited me to it, and it was interesting. It was an intriguing trip. Nice little lake house vibes with the fam, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to go because honestly, I don't like feeling trapped like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the opportunity to move how I wanted to move. Like if I had my own vehicle,
Right.
I live in New York, so having a vehicle is, impossible. But
I get you.
I if I had a vehicle, I would have went to the trip, but I didn't have a vehicle, so I felt restrained. I felt trapped, and I told her that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all due respect, it's nothing against you or your family. I love y'all, but I just can't be stuck 3 days, no escape, stuck depending on your mom to drive me to a different state. As a dude, that don't feel right.
Okay, fair enough. So did you
lo and
go or you didn't
behold,
go?
I didn't go.
Okay.
I didn't go. So, fast forward to now, I invited her to a trip to Miami because one of my friends, it's her birthday. She invited me down. She wants to meet. She's one of my good friends for 12 years. She also wants to meet my girl too, because I talk about my girl most of the time.
Okay.
And running by my girl, what you think she says?
She's not going.
What? Well, she wanted to go, but when you let him sit and think too much, she was like, "Oh, why do you feel more comfortable going on a trip with your friend and her friends instead of going on a trip?"
Because you have control. And did you explain that it's because you have control over
Listen,
the situation?
man, I explained that. It don't click in the head, man.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Have you gone anywhere with her parents, with her family?
Nah, I haven't. I just
and how long you been with her?
Holidays with her.
How long you been with her?
4 years.
All right, so here's my thing, dog. I get that it's an uncomfortable situation, right? But her inviting you, right, is because she wants to show you off. You feel me? That is that's the threshold from which somebody is saying, I really love this dude and I want you to get to know him, right? By you not going, what it looks like, not only and even if she understands what you're saying, my question is, what's the empathy to that? How do you think that makes her look? That she's talking about this dude that she loves and that she's down for and that she wants you to come, and then you don't show up.
I show up in other places.
I understand that, but it's also going away for 3 days is a commitment that the reason why they invited you, because you know what I'm saying, for them to invite you is a little bit apprehensive too, and it's a thing. Like, I'll give you an example. Here's the best way to put it. If you and I are boys, right? We ain't boys until we been through some stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm back in the days, and I'm a Brooklyn cat in the '80s Brooklyn, right?
Mm.
If somebody pulled gats out on us and we was running from dudes popping shots at us, over the top of that, like, we boys forever. You feel me? Because what makes the relationship indelible is the fact that we go through things. that you know my dirt, I know your dirt, that we go through things. We have to trust each other in order to build that bond. And
Mm.
after 4 years, it's not really unreasonable for her to ask you to go out, to go on a trip.
Of course not.
And so I understand that it's uncomfortable. Let me be clear. Anytime you are in a relationship, right? You will go places you don't want to go. You will do things you don't want to do. You will spend money you don't want to spend. You will talk to people that who you don't want to talk to. You'll have to
Yep.
listen to stuff. That's part of being in a relationship. So I kind of understand where she's coming from,
Oh,
because
me too, completely.
so then why didn't you just suck it up and go?
But man, I just listen, man. I do the same thing with my own family.
It
If I'm at
doesn't
a party
matter.
with my
It's not your
family,
own
bro,
family, because it's your
it's
own
that,
your relationship with your girl is
yeah,
it's. You ever heard me say? There's always this thing, this the saying, the blood is thicker than water, but the real saying where that comes from is the blood of the covenant is thicker than is stronger than the water of the womb.
mm,
What that means is the blood of the covenant are the decisions and the relationships that we that I make a decision to have, the friends I choose, the friends that I choose to have relationships with and grow with and dedicate them to, and I'm there for them, not because of some title, because it's my brother or my sister. Is stronger than the water of the womb. Water of the womb is your genetic, your offsprings, your family members.
hmm
And what you find more so than not, right? Most family members usually treat us worse than our friends a lot of times, because they take it for granted. So what I'm saying is, if you got a relationship with 4 years, she trusts you enough to invite you. She knows her mother and them, and she was like, it's sort of a confirmation for her. And you not going is a disappointment. You feel me?
yeah, it's understandable.
And so you gotta, if she's not important to you, that's one thing. But if she's important to you, we have to understand. We gotta have the empathy to know when certain things are important to the people that we care about. And I can't. I
Yeah,
mean, I understand what you're saying, but you missed this one.
I guess so, man. I guess so. I was. It was more about me not feeling trapped and not feeling like I had the supplies. Just a car.
But
All it was a
you
car.
have to understand something, right? Allowing yourself to be trapped for her is a trust that you're giving her, that she wouldn't put you in a situation where that you would be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the regular discomfort of just not being able to fly out when you want to fly out, but the fact that you she's putting you in a situation that you and her both know that you're uncomfortable, but you're trusting her to not put you in a situation that's going to be detrimental or difficult for you. And that's just, I think that's something that's worth it at 4 years in, if you love her.
Of course I do.
And so this is what I'm saying. So I think you gotta have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
And you gotta say, it's okay to say, man, I'm just really insecure about it, and I should have understood that this was important to you, and you know, I won't miss that mark again. And if you want her to go to Florida, then tell her, please come, and I promise you, I'll make it up for you. We'll make it up with you, with your family, on the next go round. But I effed up on this one.
All right. Yeah. I needed an impartial view because I've been stuck in my own head,
Yeah.
just swirling around. But I get what you're saying. I missed the ball.
Years ago, as you know, Patrice and I was friends, and I was in a bind, and I needed I think my car got towed, right, and I owed like $3,000 in tickets, right, and I just didn't have it on hand at the time. Just I didn't have it, and I asked Patrice for the $3,000, and he goes, "You don't have nobody else that you could ask?" And I was like, maybe I could, but I really want you to give it to me. And what I was in essence saying is, I want to borrow this money not just because I need it, but I want to borrow it from you because I want to be able to show you that I'm righteous enough to make sure that you get your money back. And I paid him back like a week early, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's where the friendship really started. Because he took a risk with me, and I wanted to live up to his expectations, and then I ultimately superseded what his expectations were anyway. That's how you build relationships. We go through things to build relationships, and when everything is all gravy, like it's easy to be a millionaire and you got some chick that's down with you when it, you know what I mean? When things ain't hard. But if you got somebody that's on the struggle bus with you and she's still down with you, I love you anyway. That's the one you want. And vice versa. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
That's
asking you is just not, it's not just about I want you to come, but it's also I want to show you off and I want you to trust me that I wouldn't put you in a situation that would be but so uncomfortable. I understand that you're going to be a little uncomfortable because you don't have your own, you just can't fly out the way you want, but that's part of it. We do things for our loved ones. We make compromises. You feel me?
I feel you, man.
All right.
I feel you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You got it, bro. Easy. That's it's just part of the building of a relationship is trust. And you got to give the trust and then hope that somebody reciprocates it. And if they're not reciprocating it, or if somebody is like a black hole where you're just putting in, and you get nothing back, those are the relationships you should eliminate from your lives. There's people in your lives who are neutral. There are people who are parasitic. They're a burden, and there's people that you can count on. And there's always a give and take, and they got your back. And when I was younger, I used to put up with people and give people grace when I realized that they're just selfish individuals. And then when I got a little older, I was like, I wouldn't keep anybody that cost me. If their friendship cost me something and there wasn't something redeeming about the friendship, I would end it. And then when I got a little older, even the people who are neutral in my life, I don't even give them time. Because what you realize is that time is the commodity. You can't do anything. You can't achieve prestige and goals and love and family. All of those things take time. So when somebody is in your life, even on a neutral basis, it's still a waste of time that doesn't move the needle. And like I've said this 100 times on this show, on every show, that I've seen more sunsets than I'm going to see. And I'm no longer willing to waste time and energy with people who don't move the needle and don't make my life better. And I make that assessment. We got another call. Let's go.
Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi, how you doing? Dante?
Where you calling from, bro?
Florida, Broward County, man.
Let me just say this, from now on, I'm not going to ask names because I don't want people to feel funny about it. So you can ask a question. You could be as loose as you want to because I'm not going to ask your name unless you want to give it, okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you, Dante.
How can I help you?
I mean, it's just a simple question, something that I'm working at a new job, and like I kind of get this.
And there's mad orgies, right? And you don't know. No, I'm sorry.
Wait, say it again.
I said it's mad orgies every day for lunchtime, and you don't know what to do.
I mean, possibly, because I've heard conversations where they talking about it and they indicate.
Oh, really?
Like,
You serious? I was joking, but okay, this is gonna be a goodie.
I mean, like, all right, so they'll have conversations about their personal life and what they do in it.
So sometimes, like, I'll be right there listening, and I'm like, why is this conversation being had in front of me? And, like, do I, but okay, so what I really kind of wanted to dive in was this girl that I think she's cute, and she kind of gave me some hints today, but I don't know if she was just messing with me though.
Okay.
Right. So like she's we're kind of hi, how you doing? And it's like social cues, and it's like it's catching on pretty quick.
Okay.
And she said something like, "Oh, you're so real," or something like that. Like, yo, I just met you yesterday.
She said you're so real. She probably wants anal. No, I'm bugging. Look, here's my thing. Whenever you have a situation where there's a question, I like what you have to have is the confidence of speaking up. What happens is when you have the confidence to speak up, it says something about you. The fact that you're wondering and trying to fill out the cues, right, is because you don't really want to lose. Like, you think she's cute, you want to put yourself out there, but you don't want to put yourself out there.
I mean, I feel you on that. I'm a little bit more calmed down. Like, I'm very loose. Sometimes I really don't mind expressing myself, but in a job setting, I'm trying to keep my job.
But then here's the question. Are you trying to cabin stab in, or you on some, like, I'm just chill, or I'm just chilling?
What?
Are you
well,
trying?
here's the part where it's like it kind of got me frustrated, because she's like engaging with me. I'm like ignoring her. Like, the more I ignore her, the more she does stuff to catch my attention.
Of course. Because this is what I was talking about earlier. Women are not accustomed to that rejection. They're accustomed to a direct response. Every little thing they give, there's a direct response. So when you don't give that direct response because they're accustomed, especially when they're attractive, it intrigues them, and it makes them ramp up a little bit. But go ahead. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, it's all good. But I definitely, we're definitely on the same page. But she says something which just throws me off, which I'm not sure
what
because
did she say? What did she say?
Like, she's like, because we're talking about conversation. Like, we're in customer service, so she's basically like, oh, sometimes I don't like having conversations with the customer, and I finish a sentence, and I'm like, because you don't want that uncomfortable conversations or those. Because I feel the same way. Sometimes you be in customer service and somebody's just dragging it. It's just like, I got to get to the next customer.
Right.
So we have that fundamental agreement, and then she adds
you finish my sentences.
yeah. And it's kind of like she says something even iller, which threw me off, and I'm like, all right, I'm not talking to this chick at work no more. But
okay.
She says,
so here's my thing. Here's my question to you. Do you want to, or you don't want to?
Nah, I kind of do. I think I would definitely, but I'm not going hard, though.
Is not an answer. Do you want to, or you don't want to?
I would. Nah, I would, but it's like I don't care. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
You gotta make a decision, bro. We going for ice cream. You want ice cream or not? I could tell you that.
Yeah. All right, I definitely. All right, so I'm gonna go with the ice cream. But
you want ice cream?
Here's the part where it's like it threw me off. She's like, "Oh, well, I'm in a happy marriage."
Okay.
And I'm like, "Why are you so flirty?"
Did you say that?
Why are you? I mean, no, because it's like,
so I don't why didn't you say that? Why didn't you just say that?
It's a good question.
I've gotten laid.
I'll give you the real answer.
I'll give you the
real answer.
Let me a second. I've gotten laid so many times just by being honest. If you're in such a happy marriage, why are you flirting with me? Something's up. What you trying to get a slice? Like, I go right in and just, you trying to get a slice? What's up? Because then then I don't got to sit home Well, you don't gotta wait till Tuesday at 8:30 to ask me, because you would have already known. And she goes,
Okay.
"Oh well, I'm happily married, but what like, but you could, she might be, but also this is what women will do a lot of times when they trying to step out. They'll be like, I'm happily married, right? And then they flirt with you because they want some, but they want to be clear so that if it blows up in their face or something, right, then they can say, I told him I was happily married. Yeah, you told me it was happily married, right? But you let me squeeze your booty, though. You know what I mean? Like, there's a definite difference in contradiction. So what I'm saying is the way that you get around that is you confront it. You go, well, if you happily married, why you keep flirting with me? You like me or something? I mean, I don't even, what you get is, I don't even know you. Well, you want to get to know me? What's up? Because then she can make a decision based on the fact that you're going, yo, I'm down. What's up? She's made her declaration that she's happily married, right? You have taken that information and you're like, what's up?
And you know what? There's also another factor to this, because you deal with a lot of women. So let me ask you this question: what if it's like a plethora of women at the job, and you just feeling her because there's something about her that you just want to knock her off? Like, for instance, like
okay,
there's other
here's my
women
thing.
there.
Here's my thing. If you're at the job and you just want to knock her off, you already know you can't be at the job and just knock somebody off. You already know that. That's gonna be messy. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't judge people in terms of their messy. I don't even say unless this is somebody like unless her husband is somebody it is not your let me say this. It is not your responsibility to maintain her marriage. You understand that? It is her responsibility to maintain her marriage, right? So if I push up, that's what I'm supposed to do. I like you, I'm pushing up. If you got a man, or you got a or you got a dude, or you got a whatever, or you think that all you gotta do is let me know, no, I'm happily married, and I go boom, and I'm out. You see what I'm saying? Then there's no discrepancy. I don't have, but I think part of it is because I'm so much older, and I'm just not playing. But I don't want to waste time. If time is the commodity, I'm not wasting time thinking about what this. I'm not waiting for the smoke signals. I'm not trying to be your palm. I'm not trying to read your palm or look at the tea leaves or throw bones. I'm gonna ask you, what's up? I'm happily. Why you keep flirting with me then? I see you looking at me. What's up? I'm cute. What? I'm cute or what? What's up?
and you know what? I'm gonna tell you, Dante. I'm 31 now, so like I'm getting to that age where I'm like,
yeah, but you still playing games.
I feel you.
You still playing games because This is what does it mean when she likes my photos, but she don't? Dog, it's a waste of time. First of all, when you confront these situations directly, women respect you more. They find you more attractive because you're direct. The reason why you're direct because in the subtext, you're saying, I am worthy. I am worthy of your time. If you put it out there, I'm taking it. And there, a lot of times I've had women say to me, "Oh, so all you just want to have sex with me?" I was like, "Yes. If that's all you got to give, that's what I want. But if you got more than just sex, I want that too." Now, when I say that, man, I'm just hearing it out loud, I was like, God damn, that's smooth. But it's honest. He was like, if all you got is sex, that's what I want. And if you got more, I want that too. Chicks would be like, ouch. I drenched my panties is wet. So
I'm gonna give that a shot.
But here's what I'm gonna say to you. 31 years old, don't make dumb decisions. Like it's at 31 years old, you shouldn't be making stupid decisions, right? So when you make your decisions, be intentful about your decisions. Be honest and intentful. And if it's going to set you back, if it's going to be a problem, don't do it. But if you're honest and open, and she's honest and open, and you want it, I mean, you know, there's a good chance that even if y'all do hook up, it's going to end up breaking up at some point in time, and you're going to be working with somebody. But if you're okay with that, all I'm just saying is understand what the consequences are. And it's not your responsibility. And this is what we have to do as men too. You have to hold women accountable. You got the husband. You tell me you got a husband, but you don't just say, "Oh, I'm happily married," and then you flirting with me.
But Dante though, Dante, like you never. I know you ran through mad chicks, right?
I may have. I cannot deny or confirm.
Guilty.
No, my bad.
No, I'm come on, Charlie.
But
if I told you my number, like you would pass out. But that's a whole nother thing. But go ahead.
But all right. So you never felt bad? Like you ever been with a married chick? Like you banging out for like maybe like a year or two?
Yeah.
And you never just started feeling bad? Like yo,
sure.
Like one time this chick was like, "Oh, I came over, but I left my 10-year-old daughter at home by herself."
Okay, let me ask you something. If she's doing that, what do you think? You think if you don't, you think it's just going to not happen if you going through Costco and you don't take the samples, right? Somebody else going to take the samples too.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's open for business, they open for business. You know what I mean? They open for business, but and whether or not you do it, if it ain't you, she'll find somebody else. If there's something wrong, if her man is not dating her, and what I mean by dating her is keeping her interested and not taking it for granted and whatever, right? Then if she's gonna step out, she's gonna step out. It could be you, it could not be you. If it's not you, it could be somebody else.
Do you find yourself like getting bad karma, or do you think that doesn't exist?
I don't believe in karma. I don't believe. There's no way you could tell me right now that Prince is dead and Donald Trump is still alive, and you could tell me about karma, dog. Even that, make it even more. Ted Nugent is alive and Prince is dead. There's no such thing as karma. People make decisions. Now, I do believe in probability. Like, I'm a logical person, and I'm very pragmatic. If you hustling drugs, or you stealing, or you robbing, or whatever, right? If you're really good at it, that you could get away with it for years, and then you could stop doing it, and quit and take on the righteous life and stop doing that, right? And never and there never be any consequences for it. But what we do know is that if you continue to roll the dice, eventually you will crap out. But that's probability. That's not I don't believe in this idea of karma where, what comes around. No, because, I mean, you can't. There's no way you can look at Donald Trump right now and go that there's karma. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. So what I'm saying is you have this. But if you continue to do the same things, eventually you will crap out. I promise you.
Okay.
But
okay.
But I think what's righteous is being honest. There's the righteousness of being honest. There's righteousness of being honest with her. There's righteousness of her giving her an opportunity, an open and honest opportunity, so that she can make the opportunity. If she doesn't respect him, and look, trust me, there's nothing you're going to do to make her respect her marriage if she doesn't respect her marriage. Trust me. And there's also things where you may say, this is something that I just don't want to really be involved in. You can do that too, because you feel a certain way about it. But I mean, make that decision.
That's usually after you smash, though.
Well, I mean, that's my point. I think about it before. I remember I had a chick in my car, right? This was years ago. And it was this white girl, I think she was from Idaho or some place where white people are, and and we could ride to my house, and we going through Brooklyn, and she says she's like, you know, she's kind of like ghetto, like trashy, and she was like, "Oh my God, you live in Brooklyn? You know Jay-Z?" I was like, "Yo, you got to get out the car. I gotta take you. I gotta drop you off."
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not because it's not because it was beneath me. It's just this is a conversation. I do not want to have to talk to this woman after I smash.
Did you smash though?
No, I didn't. I dropped off. I was like, "You gotta go home. You gotta go home." Oh, you live in Brooklyn? You must know Jay-Z. So,
oh man.
And I met him, but that's not the point. You feel me? Okay, but whatever. Thank you, bro. So what I'm just saying is just stop trying to figure out. Stop trying to use your decoder ring that you get from the cereal box and just ask. Yo, what's up?
No, that's real. That's real. I'm gonna take that advice because I be trying to be a good guy and I listen to you, Patrice. Like I listen to all those old stuff religiously, and that it helped a lot.
But I will tell you this, that a lot of the philosophies and the stuff. When I was young, I used to lie, dog. I used to lie all the time. I mean, it just was part of it. I mean, there are some women that absolutely want you to lie. I just will not give them that satisfaction because everybody doesn't want to know the truth. But I will put. I'm so honest and truthful. I'll date girls and they will ask me. They will go to ask me a question and go, "Wait a minute, don't answer yet." I go, "What's wrong?" And they'll be like, "Well, I'm not sure if I want the answer," because they know I'm gonna give them the answer. So if they don't really want the answer, they won't ask me, and I prefer that.
Yeah, when's the next time you're gonna be in Broward? You be doing improv, right?
Nah, I don't do. I do stand up. Improv. I hate improv.
But I mean, you do stand up at the improv, like the Miami improv.
Oh yeah. I'm traveling. I'll be in Chicago next week with Godfrey, but I'm gonna be around, man, and I'm gonna start going on the road a lot more. So. Just look for me.
I'll definitely check you out if you're in town, man. I looked up to y'all, like coming up in that whole era.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, but I'm trying to do it better. I'm trying to do it better than we did it then. So I appreciate you for calling in, bro. All right.
I appreciate you doing these live consultations, and I thank you for your time, man. I definitely call back and let you know how this goes.
All right, cool.
Thank you, brother.
Cool. Don't forget my Cash App. My Cash App is $DanteNero. Don't forget the Super Chat. Also, one-on-one consultations, DanteNero.com. Click on consult. You can get me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If y'all are listening now and you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so that you know every time I go live, you'll be informed. I understand that everybody, one of the things that I did is because I understand that everybody can't afford the consultation, the one-on-one consultations. So that was my whole idea of doing the live consultations. I get to show people what I do and if things are important. Yeah, let's go. We got another call. Let's go.
Caller, you're on the air.
Yo, you hear me?
Yes, sir. Where you calling from?
Yo, what up? Call from fucking SoCal, baby, LA.
What the deal? How can I help you, bro?
Man, I've called you a couple of times. I just want to drop in again and give you motherfucking love, man.
I appreciate you. Don't stop cursing. Man. Stop cursing. I don't want to get demonetized.
You said what? Say it again?
I said stop cursing. I don't want to get demonetized. YouTube got to pay me my money for this content. So don't curse, all right? But go ahead.
Excuse me. Okay, you know what?
What's up?
I'll give you a question. I got a question.
Sure.
What do you recommend for trying to jump into the route of trying to act? What's the steps I need to take?
That's wow. You 10 years too late. Because so let me just real quick. Because there's so many streaming services, right? There used to be a hub, like for instance, what I explained is if you're not a fan of Tom Cruise, right? Everybody knows who Tom Cruise is. Why? Because people used to watch television, right? And even if you never seen one Mission Impossible movie, But even if you never watched the movie, you would see Tom Cruise on Oprah, you see on Letterman, you see him on Leno, on Conan, on Ellen DeGeneres. You would see the trailers and so on and so forth. So acting is kind of weird now because of the fact that there's no hub, no general hub. So if you want to apply for stuff, you get a headshot. There's a couple of the streaming services are doing live. They're doing content, like original content, and you can submit on Netflix, on Hulu and stuff. And Actors Access and the Casting Network is two websites where you can put your profile up and you can submit stuff. But it's just really difficult now. Moreover than not, people create their own content. They'll get their iPhone and shoot a little sketch or something like that and put it on YouTube. Years ago, I did if y'all want to check it out, just be something to watch. I have a thing on my Dante Nero channel on YouTube. It's a sizzle reel that I did for a reality show called Bounced. It was when I was bouncing, and I mean, because I used to bounce when I was younger, and we did a reality show about bounce. It almost got picked up, but my point of talking about this was at the time, you could go into the network and just have an idea, and they would give you, like, I remember they gave me $58,000 to shoot the pilot, and they gave me a production company and shot it, and they filmed it and edited it, and then we had a finished product. If you want to check out the finished product, it's called Bounced. It's Dante Nero's Bounced. It's on my channel. But that was how it was done, and now it's so different now because of the streaming services. Everything is so broken up, so it's really hard to get into it, man. I mean, you got to produce your own stuff, or you can apply to stuff on casting networks and Actors Access, two websites you can do. So that's how I would do it. I mean, it's difficult now, though. Okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I saw you do you had a cameo or a role, whatever you want to call it, in the movie with Channing Tatum where you fought him. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. That was a big one for me. But it's hard. I mean, like, even now, like, I just did this thing with a horror film and nobody's watching. I mean, you go on Tubi, there's, like, if you go on Tubi, which is free, there's just so much content, and there's so many trash movies. I mean, you can shoot something with an iPhone, and it could blow up on YouTube or whatever because people like it. I mean, you just got to kind of get out there and work. And as you work, you figure out how to maneuver. Make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I'm headed to this thing called, you'll know what it is, an audit or something.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see what they're talking about over here. I'm a musician, but I've never, you know what I mean? So. Okay,
it's an actor's audit.
That's what it is, apparently, yep.
Yeah, that's,
Is it a waste of time? Tell me what it is.
Wait a minute, was an acting class?
Right, but apparently it's an audit, so whatever that means.
I took a couple acting classes here and there, but I mean, the audit is, you got to get in the game and kind of make moves, and you meet people, and that's how you move it. So you got to be in the game to figure out what the game is. So it's all fine until it's not. You'll know if it's fake or whatever. It's anyway. You know what I mean? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, lovely. Hey man, keep rocking.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah. It's the game has changed. Everything has changed. I mean, that's one of the reasons why. Part of the reasons why I do the lives is because it was people that couldn't afford the lives, and so this gives people an opportunity for me to flesh some stuff out. If it's, at least surface wise, people to talk to me that wouldn't normally be able to talk to me. The other thing is, men. Two things that men are supposed to be good at, just societally, supposed to be good at: sex and relationships. And those are probably some of the most difficult things because there's so many variations and so much of it is nuanced. And but you're expected to know how to do it. Some guys, there's so many dudes who didn't grow up with a father, and even if they did grow up with a father, they didn't have that kind of relationship, or they have an overbearing or aggressive mother, and so the father didn't have time to teach you because he was too busy ducking frying pans and rolling pins. So it's a difficult thing, and so the service that I put out is to kind of circumvent this lack of knowledge, and so the guys can kind of flesh it out. And even, what's interesting, even on the internet, there's so much trash. It's so many guys who just are incapable. They don't know what they're talking about, and they're better at social media. It's sort of like comedy. Like in comedy, there's a lot of guys who are internet famous, and then they become comics because they're internet famous, and then people are following them because they got such a big following. And then when you go to see them at a club or something, and it's just trash. So the same thing is true with what we would call the manosphere. There's a lot of guys who don't know what the heck they're doing, don't have the experience or the emotional or intellectual acuity to kind of be teaching this stuff, but they're teaching it pretty good. I mean, they're out there making millions of dollars teaching stuff that they heard me and Patrice do in 2006, and including Kevin Samuels. Like, absolutely, he was a dude who proposed that he was listening to our stuff back then, which, in my opinion, was stuff that was like really inferior. Let's get that number up, Mike. So we get the calls rolling. It's and I'm constantly evolving. 347-464-2827. I'm constantly evolving things in terms of in terms of making it more precise and more streamlined and where it just, and I really feel like I'm very close, if not very, very close to perfection. I'll give you an example. So my son, I'm on the I FaceTime with my son, right? And I look at my son, and he's got pink nail polish on. Did I tell you this, Mike? I'm FaceTiming, my son's got pink nail polish on. So now my old school 90s I'm losing my mind, right? But I'm mature enough to kind of never let emotion have a seat at the table, right? So my wife in London is very liberal. She, the pronouns, she, her, they, them, whatever, and I'm not saying, I don't want to sound like I don't get it. But, what I realized what probably happened was my son probably saw her putting the nail polish on, and he was like, "Oh, I want to paint my nails too," because he doesn't know that it's a thing. And there's a lot of dudes who wear nail polish now too. But me being old school and my gender specific thing, it kind of threw me for a loop. But I took a little time and I go, nobody ends up putting nail polish on and ends up blowing a dude. You know what I mean? Like that is not the catalyst. Yeah,
you don't look down like, wow, this looks nice. You head out to blow a dude.
Right, it's not. But it was still a situation where I was like, let's say I wouldn't have made that decision. What I did think about was a lot of times my wife is overwhelmed by raising my son, probably in a lot of ways because she's doing it in London without me or whenever I'm there. And she has to do, so she's already overwhelmed because a lot of times she doesn't get a chance to paint her own nails. So the question is, do I fly off the handle and yell and scream about something that ultimately is going to fall to pieces anyway? Here's why it's going to fall to pieces. If you don't have time to paint your own toes and nails, the last thing you got is to paint a 4-year-old who's digging in the dirt, climbing trees, kicking rocks and all kinds of nonsense. And so I didn't even say a word, Mike. I didn't mention it. Because what happened is the nail polish started chipping off, right? Now she had to take him, and my son don't stand still for nothing. So now she has to take time out of her day to put him down in between her legs, put him in a scissor lock to keep him still, to take the nail polish remover to take the nail polish off. The whole thing takes 30, 40 minutes because he's squirming. He don't want to do it. He don't like the smell, right? And ultimately, she took the nail polish off and never did it again.
She got sick of it before he did.
Right. And so, but here's the thing. a lot of times when, emotionally you're in this place where I don't want to be gender specific. I don't want to all this goofy stuff, right? The bottom line is, why would you not even nails, why would you create more problems for yourself that's going to be a problem later when you're already overwhelmed with taking care of my son in the first place? So she didn't even have the foresight to think that this is something, I'm barking up a tree that's going to be more problems for me. I've talked about, I obviously have a joke. My son plays with his penis all the time. He's and he don't just play, he full jacks. And she's super liberal, so she's like, don't stop him. You don't wanna mess up his you don't wanna repress his expression of
you don't want to shame him.
Sexual. And I go, and in my mind, I'm going.
You know what's fucking him up more?
Right, well, in my mind, I'm going, okay, watch when he goes to school and he starts jerking off on the Legos. We're going to see how that works out. All the time, this is why you remove emotion from. Guess what happened last week, Mike?
Did he jerk off on some Legos?
Son, he had on, because in England, they wear the little short pants. The short pants was a little big. They start falling off him. He just pulls the pants off with a full jack in the middle of the classroom. Bop, 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 during story time. I saw this coming. I saw
Pun
this.
intended.
I saw it coming 3 years ago. Because my son runs around naked. He runs through the backyard naked. He always takes his clothes off all the time. But if you don't set these boundaries now, right?
There's a middle ground between screaming, "Don't you fucking touch your dick," and letting him do. There's a middle way. Hey, don't do that. We
Listen,
don't do that here.
put your pants back
But
on.
you should. Come on.
Stop.
Between us boys, put that shit away.
Right.
And then it'll never happen. Oh shit, my bad. And then.
Because if you make too much of a stink about it, then it becomes a point of reference
of
where
life it becomes
or
it
it becomes something where he wants to do it.
Well, that's what I meant. It becomes ooh, awesome. Now
but
he must be a deviant.
Here's the thing. But in my maturity in time, what I've gotten to a point right now is I don't just react. I take my time and I plan. Okay, how is this going to plan? I don't let emotion have to see that the table. Don't get me wrong, man. When I saw the pink nail polish, I lost my mind. It was not only that, but it was in my head. I'm like, and then I had to calm down. I'm like, come on, nobody.
Yeah, even if you're fine with it, it's not something you really want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I get it.
And sure, just my patience with it. And so a lot of times in relationships and all kind, and I could have. And had I have said something to her, it would have probably been a problem because then she would have dug her heels in.
It would have given her the fire under her ass. I'll do his nails every Saturday.
And then
suddenly that hour is totally worth it, and she has 2 hours every week to do it. Yeah.
I didn't say a word, and it was just like an hour. She's trying to, because I know my son don't give a F. He does what he like. He's like me, And so I know when it came time, she had to probably put him between her legs and put him in a scissor and hold him, and he's whining and kicking. Why do that?
There's a chance he doesn't really care. It's more like maybe a bonding thing.
Yeah.
Like you said.
He saw her doing it, and he was just like, I want to.
Exactly. So it's bothering her more than or she likes it more than he does. Like he'll get over it in a day.
Yeah. I used to have a real cool thing I would do when I was younger, and I was like, being a dirtbag, I used to paint my pinky nail black.
Isn't that for something? Isn't it supposed to mean something?
I had one of my frat brothers, one of my Omega frat brothers passed away, and I used to paint the pinky black.
Okay.
And then when girls would be like, why you only paint? I was like, well, I lost my good friend, and that's my memorial. Oh, bloop, 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 blowies for everybody. But it was still based in some truth. But to be honest, I did it so I could have, it was just he's so sensitive. I just love him.
I want to fix him.
He's so different. 347-464-2827.
Yeah, I'll put the number in the chat too.
Yeah. Is the how's the chat going?
Chat's going nuts. Everyone's talking right now.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I mean, what I'm also going to start, I was going to talk to you, Mike, off air too, but I might as well mention it now. What I'm going to do is some of the calls that I do, they're when I go back and I listen to them, I feel like I'm answering the question, but I'm gonna go and redo those and kind of do a reaction to the questions. Because I feel like there's stuff that I'm missing that I'm not breaking down. So that's gonna be another content. If y'all don't forget to subscribe to the Man School 202 website, to the YouTube page and Instagram, and all kinds of content will be up. But don't forget my Instagram as well, Dante Nero. Instagram, Dante Nero, or also the Instagram, the Dante Nero. One-on-one consultations at DanteNero.com. Click on consult. The Patreon is where I go in a little deeper with some of the technical stuff. With some of the technical stuff at www.patreon.com/manschool202. You can sign up there, and then it's a way you can send me a message and stuff, and I get back to people on the messages for the Patreon. Plus, it helps y'all. It helps me keep doing this, man, and keep spitting these gems and showing up and stuff, because y'all are helping me out as well. So I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate all the support. 347-464-2827. Oh, yeah, I was talking about this whole thing about women not being accustomed to rejection. And because they're not accustomed to the rejection, they want you to be all in first. So it's like, you like me? Oh, well, you like me? Well, do you like me? It's they want you to be monogamous. Yes, I'm looking for a relationship. Yes,
and dudes will do it too.
Oh,
dudes
yeah,
will date. Oh man, you're the most beautiful thing, and without getting an inch of anything back.
And they'll give you all. And a lot of times, and this is one of the reasons why when you're doing the apps, people talk to me about the apps. You know, the dating apps. A lot of times, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of these things that we look, it's a way for people to gain attention. And women get to have attention, non-committal attention. Like this is when, she be liking my posts, and I don't know what it is. Yeah, none of that matters anything. What you have to do is, you have to, when somebody, if there's somebody you're interested in, even if it's on a dating app, you have to get the conversation on a phone. You got to get it off the app, right? To text messaging or whatever, to a phone call, to a FaceTime, to a date. If you're living, we've had at least several times, right, Mike, where dudes was just, I'm dating this girl, where? On Facebook? That's not dating somebody. There's nobody gonna let you take up space inside of them, right? That's not gonna talk to you on the phone. It just doesn't.
Well, that's why they like keeping it on the app.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime you're a swipe away from never seeing them again, never. Instagram, it's like now they know my friends,
yeah.
They see my personal life. Whereas on an app, you can be like, fuck off, and then never have to.
Yeah,
and just get the drip as you want.
Oh, yeah. You can just take it, and what you have to, if you want to be, what you want to do is, you don't want to be a part of that. You want to be somebody, you want to meet people who are committed enough to liking you enough, or committed enough about the fact that they want to talk to you on the phone. Even if they don't like you, at least if you get them on the phone and you talk to them, because here's what the other thing. If a girl is hot, then a guy thinks they're ready to sell the farm because she's hot. But what you don't understand is, as much as we, as men, we put emphasis on looks, there's trash. I know some pretty girls that will ruin your life. I always say, you get somebody home, pull them panties back, and it smells like the Fulton Fish Market, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought she was a 10. Or how about somebody that just is bipolar, that's going to drive you crazy? We all have dealt with, just like women have dealt with guys who are crazy. You have to get on the phone and talk to people so that you can really get a feel of who they are, because all of who they are comes out in what they say and what they don't say. 347-464-2827. Lines are open. Call me. I'm doing this for free. I'm giving it away for free. Y'all wasting my time.
Well, like a drug dealer, you're giving a little sample.
I give a sample, but
and if you like it, come on back.
Yeah. I give it, man. I give you enough to OD sometimes. Like on this show, we will go. We got a call. Let's go.
Caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, where you calling from?
New York.
What's going on, brother? How are you? How can I help you?
Nah, I was just listening to you, and this just happened to me exactly what you were just talking about.
What was that? The leading you on online?
Well, I was talking to a girl, and we were talking almost for 7 months, and she was like, "Oh, I'll die for you," and all this craziness. But when I was like, "Yo, give me more commitment," she was
Okay,
like,
wait. Now stop. You were talking to her for 7 months. You didn't go on a date with her?
"No,
You didn't? Did you?
no," because this was actually long distance.
Yeah. Did you FaceTime with her?
I tried to like be like, "Yo, I need more commitment, this and that," and she
Okay.
was like, "Oh, here's my Instagram."
Okay. Let me. How old are you?
Me, I'm 49.
You said 49.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me say this. Have you had a lot of? And I mean, I don't know who you are. This is not. Have you had a lot of experience with women or no?
Yes.
What would you say your number is?
If I had to count, I mean, I never kept count, but I would say, I don't know, 50, 60.
Okay. So let me. I'm gonna tell you, you don't sound like you have had a lot of experience. There's no way that I'm going to spend time talking to somebody back and forth on social media, right? Did y'all talk on the phone at least?
Yeah, no, we did. I mean, well, the thing is that I work stupid hours. I
That's
work like
bullshit.
12 hours.
All right, stop. I'm gonna stop you right now. That's a cop out. We all work, right? And if you're going 7 months, how often did you speak to her on the phone?
Um, Maybe like once a day.
Every day for 7 months you spoke to her, and you never FaceTime with her.
No.
Then this is trash. There's no way in the world that I would have conversations with somebody for 7 months and not and
Well, at first it was, the first 3 or 4 months it was just like I guess courting.
there is no courting if you're on the phone. Courting is not on the phone. You have to, if somebody's not willing to make a commitment to you, then you leave them alone.
Well, that was the whole thing is that
But here's what I'm saying, but not 7 months. 7 months is way too long.
well, that was my whole thing is that, I basically was like, I told him like, yo, listen, I need more. And
Yeah,
she was
but
like,
at what
oh,
time
you're
did you
being
go?
selfish.
I need more. At what time did you? How long in did you go? I need more.
About 5 months in.
Yeah, that's too much, man. If you're talking to somebody once a day, every day, uh, a weekend, I'm like, we got to FaceTime. And if she goes, here's my Instagram or whatever, I go, yeah, I'm good. I shut it down.
Well, that was the whole thing is that I never even actually used their Instagram. I was like, you know what? I don't want that. You know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah, but do you understand that you're 49 years old and you wasted 7 months with somebody who you get nothing from? Like, I mean, and I'm not saying that she's
Yeah,
supposed
no,
to.
I comprehend. That's what when you were talking about it right now, you were saying, um, if you don't talk on the phone, if you don't FaceTime, if they don't give you the time of day, I was like, that just happened to me.
If somebody's dangling a carrot in front of you, it's because it's manipulative, and it's okay. Like here's another thing. I don't know if y'all notice, and this is something, just a public service announcement. There is a lot of times where somebody I get this all the time, where somebody will text me, and they'll be like, hey Lisa, it was great seeing you last night. And I'll text back, you got the wrong number. And they'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know. It was a 227 or 22, whatever. And I go, no problem. Right. And then they'll go, well, I hope I didn't bother you. And then you go, oh, no problem. And then they text back and you go, I'm calling from. They'll be like, I'm calling from wherever. I'm texting from wherever, and where are you at? And then I go, well, from like this. Initially, this is kind of a scam that they do. I don't know if you know that, but there's a scam. I forget what it's called. But then the girl will engage you in conversation. Wow, and then she'll send a picture of herself, and it'll usually be some girl, some attractive girl, and they'll go. And you go, oh, hey. So now she's attractive, so she's setting the hooks in. So then you send a picture, and then y'all are texting back and forth, and you're talking, wow, just really it's so easy to talk to you. And then they set you up, and then they scam you out of money. So when somebody hits me with a wrong text, Lisa, this is Lisa, and I go, wrong number. And then when they go, oh, sorry, I go, beat it. My next text is beat it. Because nobody's doing that. Nobody is just by chance texting you and then saying what they're just scamming you. And even if they're not scamming you, they're catfishing you. If you can't, go ahead.
I've been listening to you for a minute, and I set my boundaries, and I was like, this is a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And I cut her off, and she's like, she started telling lies about me. She was like, "Oh, you have another girl. Oh, you were trying to use me." And
I don't care. We didn't smash. I got
Exactly.
12 other girls. It's like, just stop blocking.
Well, I don't have 12 other girls. I'm not that lucky, but this one chick.
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, if somebody jumps right, it's a scam. It's either a scam or somebody's leading you on. If people are not, understand something. If people are not willing to show who they are, to communicate with you, to FaceTime with you, even if it's long distance, they're lying. And even if they're not lying, they are.
I felt that in my heart.
Say again?
I felt that in my heart that they were just bullshit.
Yeah, but then you did 7 months. That's crazy.
Well, I was trying to, believe.
Yeah, you was trying to slide in, trying to get some butt on there. You figured you stick it out. But the bottom line is, nobody gets it. Understand? Let me be clear. There is nothing, no such thing as a pity smash. Nobody has sex with you because they feel sorry for you.
Well, I wasn't trying to smash. I was looking for a relationship.
And you weren't going to smash in the relationship?
No, I was. That wasn't my first thing.
You're being dishonest. Because what?
Because again, I can get pussy. That's no problem.
You're being dishonest. Nobody is talking to somebody who doesn't want to talk to them, will not FaceTime with them, will not make a commitment even to speak to them or show their face, who's interested in having a relationship. It's just.
Yeah, I guess I was lying to myself.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying. You're being dishonest, not just to me, but you're being dishonest to yourself. Nobody does that. Somebody that's interested, they pick up the phone. People do what they want to do. If they're not doing it, it's because they don't want to. So, and that goes for anything.
I comprehend, because the last time I watched you, you said the truth is in the actions.
Sure,
and
absolutely.
I concur.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be here's something you could take with you, and I'm gonna let you go. You don't have to eat the whole birthday cake to know that it's made with rotten eggs. All you need is a spoonful. What that means is that people who their personality is throughout. It's just not on one of the layers or just in the icing. If they're trash, they're gonna be trash. And sure, people can lie and mislead you in a lot of ways if they're good enough to do that, and they can hold it together. But eventually it comes out that somebody is just not a good person, or they're trying to deceive you. And if they're hiding something and they're not willing to be upfront, then you keep it moving. Your non-negotiable should be, if you can't pick up the phone, FaceTime with me. I mean, it's fine that even when we're talking about long distance, if this is going to happen, I mean, half the time long distance don't really work anyway. But even if it is going to happen, then you both got to make a commitment to making time and taking care of you. Nobody's that busy. Nobody works that hard. If you were working that hard, you wouldn't be on social media. You'd be on your hustle. I got to find time to respond to people on my social media because I'm always working and editing and doing shows and doing comedy. Anybody who is on social media like that, talking to you every day, they're full of shit. Okay?
Yeah, no. Respect, I understand.
Week, couple days, get it off. Even if it's on a dating app, get it off the dating app onto the phone. Talk on the phone, FaceTime. If it's long distance, make a commitment and set up a time where y'all can meet halfway, or y'all can meet somewhere, or you can come out there. And if that's not happening, move on. You're wasting your time, dog. And you're not. You said you're 49.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're wasting time, dog. You'll be dead soon. I don't mean that like that. But I mean, so will I. But so I don't have time to be 58 years old and messing around. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Mike, I've been getting a lot of old broads swinging back. Hey, what's up? Cop some butt? I'm like, hey.
No, I know my value now.
It's like, hey, my daughter moved out. But yeah, cop some butt. Like, what are we doing here? You're calling me because
where were you when I needed it?
Yeah, we got a call. Let's go.
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on? Where you calling from, bro?
Hey, Dante. You might remember me. This is John from Texas.
John from Texas. Remind me, what did we do? A consultation, or did we be on the phone?
Oh no. We talked over the. You were live on Sunday, but this was like 2 weeks, a week ago.
All right, talk to me. What's going on?
Hey, Dante. So I just want to know your opinion on this. So what does Andrew Tate and the Fresh and Fits, what do they get wrong about relationships?
Okay. All right. So that's a big question because I think both of them get something wrong. They get a little bit wrong in a sense. Andrew Tate and those guys, they are living their truth to a certain extent, right? Those guys definitely get laid. Those guys are not guys who are sitting home lying about who they are. Then he's not getting women he's not getting women just because. I mean, don't get me wrong. Having a nice car, having a big house, all of those things, but all of those things are just the bait. That's the bait that bring the fish in, right? But ultimately, you have to have substance to your character in order to keep women interested. So primarily, like I've been talking about this, the whole idea, all this stuff with Puff Daddy is coming out. He's the guy with the private jet and this and that and the mansions and this and summer home and blah, 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 flying, skiing in Aspen, all of that. But yet and still, he still has to hire goons to stalk his women to the point where he's so insecure that if a woman is out of sight, he's worried about who she's giving a blowy to, you know?
Right.
That speaks to his insecurity, the fact that he's abusive and all of these things. All of those things speak to his insecurity and his own self-hatred. You gotta hate yourself to be able to treat people like that. You know, when you to be unkind to people, to not be able to see divinity and humanity in people and to treat them, you gotta hate yourself, right? So always keep that in mind. That's a reflective of that. So Andrew Tate and those guys. They get girls. What I think the problem with Andrew Tate and them is, as much as they speak about their dad, right? You know, their dad was a black dude who was a chess player and came in and he gave them wisdom, right? But I think what happens where they're lacking is they didn't have enough time with him. So as much as they hold him in high regard and they talk about him in high regard, he didn't spend enough time with them. And so there is a resentment in that because he didn't put enough time, enough tenderness, enough love for them, and so their perspective is a little angrier, and they lack empathy because of that, in my opinion.
And
go ahead.
And so I guess the of course, it's not bad to have your materialistic things, but it's even better to be a good person at the same time.
Well, because if you have material things, then a woman if you put that up front, like we all lead with our best foot forward. You know what I mean? Like we're giving the guy, the CEO, not the dude from the mailroom. We're presenting in the best way possible. So if you have clothes and jewelry and cars and that's what you lead with because you want. But when you're really when you're a person who practices ACE, authenticity, credibility, and empathy, they're like when I say that to people, right? And I'll do it with you just now. How many of your friends tell the truth all the time, always keep their word, and are kind and empathetic?
Well, they don't always tell the truth, but sometimes it's a mix. They tell the truth sometimes, but they
I'm going to ask you again. How many of them do all three? All the time?
Not all the time. Not all the time.
All three. Do any of them do all three all the time? None. Right.
Right. Right.
So let's put it in this perspective. What happens when you practice that every day? You get up in the morning. You put your feet on the floor. You tell the truth. You show up and do what you say you're going to do, and you have empathy for people around. Who does that? Almost nobody. So if you understand basic supply and demand is the scarcity of product, right, makes that product more valuable, right? So when you talk about all the friends and all the people you know, let's not even say your friends. Just do you know how many people do you know that actually practice that on a day-to-day basis? Or even, how about this? Even I'll make it easier. How many people attempt to practice that every day? Almost none. So by you being somebody,
maybe monks,
huh? And
maybe monks,
and some of them are shady. So you know they're teaching eagle claw to the peasants. They're not supposed to do that, you know. So eating bacon on the side. What I'm saying is that is what makes you a commodity. Don't get me wrong. Everybody doesn't have a Bugatti. Everybody doesn't have a Ferrari. All those things make it. But when you lead with that, right? What women are saying, okay, how do women know who you are? You tell them. That's the only way they know. You tell them who you are. They don't know you from Adam. Nobody knows you better than you, and you lead with your best part. So if you lead with your riches, with your money, with your car, what you're saying is, I don't have value beyond my worldly possessions. You see? And so that becomes your focus. And now women will listen. They're listening to what you say. Oh, your character is not important to you. Your money is important. So what are they going to do? They're going to attach. They're going to try and get money from you. They're going to be with you. The minute you lose money, right, they don't want to bet. You don't have the thing that made you hot in the first place. But when you lead with character and authenticity and credibility, that becomes the thing that they admire, because you're saying this is the value. Now, if you have those things, if you have credibility and you're authentic and you show up and you're disciplined, you will get the cars, you will get the money, you will have the houses as well if you have the discipline, right? Those will come to it, but you still got to lead with your character. Anytime I'm talking to somebody or I talk to a woman in the history of my 58 years, I've led with my own personal intellect, my character, and the truth. I give you this. Here's the crazy thing. I was telling somebody a story the other day, and I was like, yeah, and I grabbed a cab. My car broke down. I grabbed the cab, and I went home. And then I stopped, and I said, my bad. I grabbed an Uber. Wasn't a cab. Now, does it matter? Does anybody care? Whether it was an Uber or a cab, veritably, it's the same thing. But it's important for me to be that precise about what my words are and the truth is. Now, who do you know deals with the truth on that level? I don't know too many that do.
They are.
But I mean,
like you.
Like me, I don't know. I mean, Patrice was one of those dudes who was honest like that. I mean, and that's why he was. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, yeah, I can measure. I can learn. I can measure, name some guys like that. Bruce Lee, honest dude. Muhammad Ali, honest dude. Um, Malcolm X, honest dude. Martin Luther King. Now, I'm not saying that these guys didn't have flaws, but what I'm saying, great men operate on credibility, truth and credibility and authenticity and discipline and empathy, right? So
and I was just going to add a little bit. We shouldn't be too hard on ourselves if we sometimes fall short of that, maybe every other day, or
as long as you get up and start the next day with the intent
right.
of being authentic. So
right.
I think the problem with Andrew, those dudes are smart. They've been with plenty of women. They have a lot of experience. A lot of the stuff that they say is absolutely true. I've seen Andrew Tate on Fresh and Fit and scoop a girl up in just being himself. Chicks was oozing over him. So there's an authenticity there that's super attractive. You could see it. You could see that just happening in front of your eyes. Now here's the thing with Fresh and Fit.
Yes.
Fresh. Fresh is the little African dude, right? He is a clown. He's not really that bright. He's lying all the time, and this is why he got caught up with I don't know if you know, there was a whole thing where he got caught up with this chick who said he had his baby and blah 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 blah. But he's a liar and he's a clown and he's insecure, and so he's portraying this person that he's not. Which ultimately, what happens what don't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse. Myron, who is, I can see him evolving, right, to be a better dude, but he's a scary dude who's worried about his bald spot, and he's trying to be harsh and aggressive. It's just not that necessary. Anytime you see somebody that overcompensates, and they overcompensate with anger and stuff, when they go over the top, they're going over the top because you're really insecure. So neither one of those dudes are those dudes. They are who they are. They're messing with the chicks who they mess with because of the money. But none of them are interesting enough that they would be able to hold the interest of somebody, hold the interest of, first of all, the show itself, in my criticism of the show, is you take a bunch of bimbos, they're all clout chasing, OnlyFans, prostitutes, porn stars, whatever, and I'm not judging people, but you bring some of the dumbest women in the world. They're attractive, they're young, they're immature, they're some of the dumbest. I mean, they just dumb. They make my head hurt sometimes, the stuff that they say. But they're hot, and guys allow them to talk the way. And then he's the intellect, where he's asking them questions that they don't even have the reason or the logic to answer those questions. He trashes them and whatever, spends his money, and they're all tricking. They're all they're all paying for chicks. And I'm saying,
right.
don't get me wrong. We all pay for a date. We do, but it's just fraudulent. And it's only a matter of time when you're a fraud. It's only a matter of time till you get got. I mean,
there are better role models out there than
they're trying to figure it out.
They're not the ultimate.
They're still trying to figure it out. And you could see the chink in the armor because there's an inconsistency. Why would you do that? Why would you, even if your intention is to they're making money hand over fist because you have a bunch of guys who are looking at these attractive women who wish they could have them, and they bring them on, which intellectually they're smarter than they are. They trash them, and then everybody applauds because these girls are getting their comeuppance. Wow, I love watching this because they put those pretty girls in place in their place. But what you're really saying is just, I could never get, these are insecure men who are going, I'm not good enough. I don't have the value to have them in the first place, to interest them, I don't have the character or the money or whatever it is that they think they need. And so they want to see women verbally abused and so on and so forth. And so it's a cyclical thing that sells because that's what people want to watch. It's sort of like Maury Povich. People watch Maury Povich because they're like, wow, their life is so horrible, it makes my life look better. At least I'm not that bad.
Yeah.
So, but
they're doing what the audience will like to do to a girl that they are insecure about.
Exactly. And they quote Kevin Samuels. They quote stuff from old Black Phillip with me and Patrice. They're all of these dudes grew up on listening to Black Phillip, in 2006, stuff that was on the internet that they were before there was a manosphere. So, and then, and here's the thing, I say this all the time, the stuff that I was talking about in 2006, 70% of it is stuff that I wouldn't even espouse right now. That I've evolved and moved beyond this to a degree that I wouldn't even talk about that stuff no more. I don't agree with those positions. And I could always tell.
Dante,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, and I was just gonna touch on a quick small follow-up question. How, because you talk about the futon bed.
Yeah.
And how you can still, get with somebody in the futon bed.
With nothing, yeah.
And I guess
trust me, I broke many a futon slat.
I guess, like, I of course, nobody should strive to stay on a futon bed forever, but at least how we shouldn't be too ashamed of being on the futon bed at the moment.
Everybody starts somewhere. Again, this is you being honest about the fact that you are trying to grow. So if I remember, I was on my futon after I dropped out of college, and I came home and I had some depression and stuff. I'll get into that story another time. And I had broke up with my girlfriend. I thought I was going to marry her. I left school. I actually quit school and kept working so I could help her to get her degree.
Wow.
And then we ended up breaking up, and she was abusive. She was an abusive person and I shouldn't say that just like she was an abusive person. She was a person that came from an abusive family, very toxic and abusive. Like her dad would just punch her mom in the face, right? And that sounds horrible. But then her mom, while he went to sleep, her mom would get one of them iron frying pans and then bash him upside. I would come over and his head would be wrapped and she'd have a black eye. And this is the kind of environment that she grew up in. And so this is another thing, because that kind of toxicity and that kind of poisonous environment was where she came from. And so naturally in our relationship, she was that way too. And so I was really broken. I was in love with this chick. I thought I was going to marry her. We broke up. And she was abusive and called me all kinds of punks, and it was crazy. If you'd have seen me back then, you would have been ashamed. And I bought my first futon, and I moved back into my mom's house in the basement, and then I started growing. I started trying to fix myself. A woman won't dump you just because you got a futon. I mean, some will, but if you are authentically following your dream and with the discipline and the passion that it takes to they can tell when you're about something. They can trust me. They can also tell when you're not. So at some point in time, right, when you're saying I'm gonna do this, and there's no progress, they'll start looking at you side-eye, because there's no way that you could keep banging at it and not have some progress. And we're not talking about some progress. We're talking about no progress.
Yeah.
And then also there's a society, well, he's not this, and I'm not enough, and I'm not. I mean, I had a guy I just consulted with, and he graphic artist, dude, and he had with his girlfriend for 6 or 7 years, and then she gets a job, a better job, right? He's an artist, right? So he's struggling, and then I asked him, what are you really doing to be successful at this? And he wasn't putting enough time and energy in his art. He got complacent, and she got a job that paid more. And around, what did she do? She got a job with the police department, and all them old dudes was sniffing at that young girl, and she was like a 5'6", but for older dudes, she was a 10 because they were older, and you don't need that. And he's a loser, and then she broke up with him. The dude dedicated him. He was kind to her, and he was faithful and all of those things. But just because she figured she could get an upgrade, She left him. And I counseled him, and he started applying himself, and started applying himself with his graphic arts and his art and stuff like that. He started to grow. He started getting more opportunities, started making more money, started getting more chicks. And now he's like, his Rolodex is full. So what I'm saying is it's okay if you're not where you want to be, as long as you're intentful about growing and moving to a place where you want to be. It makes sense?
Right.
And you got to be honest too.
I don't necessarily sleep on a futon bed, but I'm using that as a metaphor.
Yeah, I get it. I know what you're saying, but I'm saying you also know if you're you can't lie to yourself. And I say this analogy over and over again.
Right.
When you are laying across
it's
the
okay
bed,
to be honest about the come up that you're in.
Yeah. I mean, you should be. When you lay across the bed and the shadow from the ceiling fan is whipping across your face, you know if you ain't shit. The greatest thing about being a sucker is that tomorrow you don't have to be. Make sense?
Right.
All right, brother. I appreciate you calling.
Thank you so much, Dante. Keep it up.
All right, yo, let's shut it down. Don't forget DanteNero.com. Click on consult. Don't forget the Patreon/manschool202. And we'll be going live again. I'll be live on, will I be live Sunday? I don't know if I'll be live on Sunday because I'm going to be traveling. But we'll figure something out. Maybe I'll do one during the week or whatever. I'll put a blast out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications on all of the platforms, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you call it, YouTube, both channels, my channel and the Man School channel. I appreciate y'all. GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, What Would Dante Do? The Sexual Revolution being podcasted. I love y'all. Yo, we out.
Man School 202. Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.